Okay, so welcome back. This is NahSeh with Astrolove Painter, and I'm going to be putting this all out before I do your Leo new moon horoscope, which is this Sunday, the 23rd. And that's usually very analytical, logical, and technical for me. But that has been a nice veil to hide my deeper emotions behind, which is that part of me to be vulnerable and raw. It is what I do with clients at times. Those closest to me, which are few, get to really see when I am in it. And I have a best friend who just knows if she calls and she wants to know how I'm doing or what's up, and I'm like, crying. She's like, "Hey, get in it, girl. Go get it. Call me when you can talk." And because she has faith in me and my journey and trust that is my process. Going through this shamanic way, and I am my own teacher, I am my own guru, I am my own shaman. There is nobody teaching me, no human form. It is my life experiences and these human expressions of myself through others, which is anybody that I come across. Client, friend, romantic partner. So where I left off on that previous section, and it's being a shaman in a romantic relationship and being an 8th house person, the patience and dedication to be in my own skin is challenging enough, but to welcome somebody into that world and be rejected over and over, being told that you over exaggerate, or just get over it. All the things that I was told as a kid when I was being abused, and I would, tell my stepdad I don't like it, or tell my mom I don't like the way dad kisses me. And when I say dad, that's my stepdad. My biological father was never abusive to me. He was distant at times, but never referring to my biological father in any light other than respect. So this shamanic journey in relationship, and calling in partners that mirror you and mirror, what people would say is like the shadow side of you. And that's not that it's bad. There is no bad, but shadow is like the things that are more hidden from you, those things that are in your subconscious, and you mirror, you project. The relationship I was in prior to the one I'm in right now was so transformative. It hurt so bad. So bad. I just thought I was so in love with this guy, and he was everything that I wanted him to be in the beginning. And then when fear came in for him, his defenses came up, and I found myself in the end of that having allowed myself to be manipulated and used. And it is so important to be able to go through your own process and to journal and really look at yourself. Like, why did I let that guy talk to me like that so many times before I finally blew up? Like, what does that mean? What does that say about how I'm loving or not loving myself, and what is that calling out of me? How can I show up better for myself? It is not to hate anybody, but when you embrace and fully accept each one of those lessons, you're able to release them of all liability and accountability, and they have no power over you anymore. And you can be grateful for those lessons and the gifts that came. That doesn't mean they weren't a jackass. That doesn't justify anybody's actions. But if you don't want to continue drawing people into your life that take you for granted or manipulate, then you need to look at how you're talking to yourself and look at your own thought life. That is really, it gets really deep, man. It gets so, I mean, there are times when I don't understand why I'm in so much emotional pain suddenly. And, you know, being an empath, it is so important to respect your own boundaries before you deal with other people. Just recognizing you need 6 hours of sleep and not 8 hours, and you need to have an hour or two of downtime before you move from work to kids or dinner, and not just plug into what society says you're supposed to be doing. You know what you're supposed to be doing. You know, a beautiful, amazing parent is somebody who allows their children to teach you. Each child can teach you how they need to be parented. So going through these transformative metaphysical surgeries in relationship to another person, I'm not there yet. I don't know what it looks like as far as is there the possibility of that normal kind of happy couple, that husband and wife. Not that it's unhappy, but you know, Ozzy and Harriet is dead. They were both closet alcoholics too. You know, Bradgelina, right? The unconscious, or the conscious uncoupling, that was brilliant. Being brave enough to learn yourself to the point of loving yourself unconditionally for all of those battle scars you've gone through, and seeing that they're beautiful. You know, when I turned this camera on at the beginning, I had just gotten off the phone with a friend of mine from my spiritual center, who is a licensed science of mind practitioner, and I have been mulling this over, like, yeah, I want to get deep, I want to be raw, you know, I'm authentic in my work and what I do, but when you're projecting it out there like this on camera, you're really opening yourself up to a lot of criticism. There are a lot of spiritual teachers that I really admire, and I have seen them get attacked and criticized. I've been through that, you know, my whole life. That doesn't mean I'm trying to repeat it. I don't think it's enjoyable, but, you know, it's worked for me, because then that lets me see what is true, what am I keeping in my belief system, and what am I releasing. So coming into union with another human is the most sacred act that you can share with another human. And I'm not talking about sex. I'm talking about sharing your mind and having a disagreement and somebody messing up, and allowing them that space and dignity to show up when there is an equal amount of vulnerability and intimacy created. That is a merging of energies. You might find a lot of things that I say very familiar to some theories that are out there. I'm purposefully not even using these names. I go off of divine partnership, and divine partnership is who you want to call into your existence. It is a representation, equal representation, a mirror of you. That doesn't mean that if you're right-handed, they're right-handed. It's, when you look in a mirror, it balances. It's the yin and yang. When I reach forward with my right, they're reaching forward with their left, the masculine to the feminine, and that flow of energy. So it is, I think it is actually really healthy being a shaman in relationship, because there is a continual there's like this energy field that when expressed, and it doesn't need to be expressed necessarily physically, outwardly, or verbally, but emotionally, you can feel and sense where you have gone beyond your own boundary. You don't need to know what that other person's doing. You don't need to worry about if they're tripping. You don't need to worry about what their side of the street looks like. Because when you're looking over there, you're not looking at you, and then you're not authentic, and you're not truly calling in something that is going to be the most intimate experience you could ever have. And I'm primarily speaking to people who identify with being an empath or a twin flame or a shaman or going through their spiritual awakening. I believe that we all have these capability of the worst and the best of humanity. It's just what you choose, What are you choosing? How are you choosing to express yourself? How do you know what is authentically you? I've learned that it is when you come from a place that is your truth and you have released the outcome. It doesn't matter if that other person stays or if they goes or if they're angry, but you just recognize that you just shared a piece of your journey, and then it's up to them how they're going to process that and being open to that flow. So it takes a really strong bond and great awareness to be in relationship when you're on a shamanic journey. I think this is another good time to close. So until next time, namaste.